The era of the impenetrable digital fortress is officially over. For decades, cybersecurity was dominated by a castle and moat philosophy. The idea was simple: build the walls high enough, dig the trench deep enough, set up your massive firewalls, and the barbarians will remain safely outside at the gate. But in today's hyper-connected, cloud-native world, that perimeter has completely dissolved. The barbarians are no longer just waiting at the gate. They are already inside your supply chain, they are hiding in third-party software interfaces, and they are leveraging autonomous artificial intelligence agents to probe for vulnerabilities at machine speed. To survive in this modern environment, organizations must undergo a fundamental paradigm shift. They must transition from the brittle concept of traditional cybersecurity, which focuses almost exclusively on threat prevention, to the dynamic, holistic discipline of digital resilience. Think about it this way: if traditional cybersecurity is a hard, unyielding glass shield that shatters into pieces under enough pressure, digital resilience is a biological immune system. It is adaptive, it is self-healing, and it is capable of isolating a digital infection before it spreads to your vital organs. Digital resilience is the architectural mindset that assumes a breach is not just possible, but mathematically inevitable. It is the ability of an organization to absorb a massive cybershock, maintain its critical operations, and recover rapidly without catastrophic data loss or reputational damage. Architecting for cyber threats in the modern era requires a symphony of advanced technologies, updated regulatory frameworks, and a complete cultural overhaul. Let us dive deep into a comprehensive guide to building a digitally resilient architecture capable of weathering the storms of tomorrow. First, we need to look at the massive regulatory push toward resilience. This transition is no longer just an industry best practice. It is a strict legal and regulatory mandate. Global authorities have finally recognized that the cascading effects of cyber failures can cripple entire interconnected economies. Take the Digital Operational Resilience Act, widely known as DORA, which went into full enforcement across the European Union on January 17, 2025. DORA represents a massive watershed moment for the financial sector and all of its technology providers. It forces institutions to move way beyond simple passive risk checklists. It legally mandates continuous resilience testing, strict third-party risk management, and the ability to definitively prove that operations can withstand severe digital disruptions. DORA essentially codified digital resilience into law, expanding accountability beyond just the massive banks to include cloud service providers and independent software vendors. Similarly, the NIST Cybersecurity Framework version 2.0, which has been fully adopted globally, marks a significant evolution from its predecessor. To its original 5 core pillars of identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover, NIST added a crucial 6th pillar, govern. This edition elevates cyber resilience from a dark basement IT problem to a primary boardroom imperative. The updated framework heavily emphasizes supply chain risk management and the design of systems capable of rapid recovery, acknowledging that resilience is an ongoing daily operational lifecycle, not a final destination. So how do we actually build this resilient architecture from the ground up? It starts with Pillar 1, Zero Trust Architecture. You simply cannot build a resilient network on a foundation of implicit trust. The bedrock of modern digital resilience is zero trust, driven by the absolute foundational mantra of never trust, always verify. Zero trust completely eliminates the outdated concept of a trusted internal network. Imagine walking into a high-security government building. In the old model, once you passed the front door guard, you could walk into any room, open any cabinet, and read any top-secret file. Zero trust is like having a strict guard at every single door, inside every single room, checking your ID, and mathematically evaluating your behavior every single time you reach for a drawer. In a resilient architecture, identity is the ultimate control plane. Every user, device, application, and microservice must continuously authenticate and authorize itself. We achieve this by moving far beyond easily intercepted SMS-based text codes to phishing-resistant, multi-factor authentication. When we talk about phishing-resistant authentication, we are talking about eliminating exploitable passwords entirely, using hardware tokens and biometric authenticators like FIDO2 and WebAuthn. A hacker can trick a human into typing a password into a fake website, but they cannot trick a physical hardware security key, because the hardware key cryptographically verifies the authenticity of the website itself before it allows any access. But it goes further than just logging in securely. Through continuous adaptive risk and trust assessment, trust is not granted just once at the initial login. Systems continuously monitor user behavior, device health, and geographic location in real time. If an employee suddenly attempts to download a massive database of customer records from an unrecognized IP address halfway across the world at 3 in the morning, their access is dynamically revoked or challenged instantly by the system. But what if an advanced threat actor still manages to breach a system? Resilience dictates that their movement must be severely restricted. This brings us to microsegmentation and controlling the blast radius. Traditional flat networks allow attackers to move laterally with terrifying ease once they are inside the walls. Microsegmentation breaks the data center and cloud environments down into granular, isolated zones. By applying strict internal firewalls and least privilege access policies between these tiny segments, network architects can effectively limit the blast radius of any compromised asset. A breached marketing web server, for instance, should have absolutely zero network path to the highly sensitive financial database. Moving on to Pillar 2, Immutable Infrastructure and Cloud-Native Defense. One of the absolute greatest advantages of modern cloud computing is the ability to decouple software from physical hardware. This has given rise to immutable infrastructure, an engineering concept that radically enhances operational resilience. In the past, servers were treated like pets. They were lovingly named, individually patched, and nursed back to health over days or weeks when they got sick or compromised by malware. In a resilient architecture, servers are treated like cattle. If a server is infected with ransomware, you do not spend days investigating and manually cleaning it. You completely destroy it, and you instantly spin up a pristine, known good replica from your automated pipeline. By leveraging infrastructure as code, entire complex network topologies, firewall rules, and server configurations are written purely in code and stored in secure, version-controlled repositories. If a catastrophic attack encrypts a live production environment, an organization with immutable infrastructure can literally obliterate the infected environment and redeploy a clean, perfect version in a matter of minutes. This is heavily powered by containerization and orchestration technologies like Docker and Kubernetes, which allow massive monolithic applications to be broken down into tiny, independent microservices. If a single microservice, like the checkout payment gateway of a massive e-commerce site, comes under attack or fails due to a bug, Kubernetes can automatically kill that compromised pod and restart it, or route customer traffic to a redundant node, all without taking down the broader application or affecting the customer experience whatsoever. This automated, biological-like self-healing capability is the absolute hallmark of true digital resilience. Next is Pillar 3, AI-driven automation and threat intelligence. The sheer speed of modern cyber attacks has completely surpassed human cognitive and physical limits. Modern ransomware strains can encrypt millions of enterprise files in a matter of minutes. Autonomous attack scripts can scan the internet and exploit zero-day vulnerabilities the exact second they are published on dark web forums. Relying on human analysts to manually parse through mountains of security logs and respond to alerts is a guaranteed recipe for total disaster. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are now absolutely critical components of a resilient architecture. Instead of relying purely on signature-based detection, which only catches known, previously seen malware, AI establishes a behavioral baseline of what normal activity actually looks like for your specific network. Tools like user and entity behavior analytics can detect the subtle, anomalous micro-behaviors of a compromised account. Things like logging in at odd hours, executing unusual administrative commands, or accessing files at an impossible, machine-driven velocity. The AI flags these anomalies before the malicious payload can even be fully executed. But detection is only half the battle. Resilience requires reducing the mean time to respond to near zero. This is where security orchestration, automation, and response, or SOAR platforms come into play. SOAR acts as the automated central nervous system of your security architecture. When an AI detects a severe, verified threat, SOAR playbooks automatically execute complex defensive maneuvers without any human intervention required. This might include isolating an infected laptop from the entire corporate network, disabling a compromised executive user account, or automatically updating firewall rules across the globe to block a malicious IP subnet, all happening in tiny fractions of a second. However, even the most sophisticated, AI-driven defenses in the world can be bypassed by a determined adversary. This leads us directly to Pillar 4, the art of recovery and data sovereignty. When the absolute worst happens, be it a massive nation-state ransomware attack, a highly privileged hostile insider threat, or a physical natural disaster destroying a data center, your resilience relies entirely on your ability to recover your data seamlessly. Architects must design data recovery pipelines that are completely immune to the very attacks they are trying to recover from. Modern ransomware operators specifically target backup servers first, intentionally deleting or encrypting backups to guarantee that victims have absolutely no choice but to pay the massive ransom. To combat this brutal tactic, we use the evolved 3-2-1-1-0 backup strategy. This ensures absolute, unbreakable data resilience. You need 3 total copies of your data so there is no single point of failure. You need them stored on 2 different physical media types. You need 1 copy located entirely off-site, miles away from your primary operations. Crucially, you need 1 copy that is offline, completely air-gapped or immutable. Immutable storage is a game-changer. It means that once the data is written to the drive, it mathematically cannot be altered, encrypted, or deleted by anyone, not even a rogue system administrator with top-level root privileges. And finally, the 0 in the strategy stands for 0 errors during automated, routine data recovery testing. A resilient architecture also meticulously maps out the recovery time objective, which dictates exactly how fast your business needs to be back online, and the recovery point objective, which dictates exactly how much data you can financially afford to lose. Active multi-region cloud deployments allow for synchronous data replication across continents. This means if an entire primary data center goes completely dark, global traffic is instantly and seamlessly routed to a secondary geographical region with near-zero data loss and immediate availability. Now we must address Pillar 5, securing the digital supply chain. The modern enterprise does not write all of its own software code from scratch. It stitches together a massive Frankenstein monster of open-source libraries, third-party application programming interfaces, and vendor software-as-a-service solutions. As highlighted by infamous, world-changing incidents like the SolarWinds breach and the Log4j vulnerability, the software supply chain is the soft underbelly of the global digital economy. Think about the SolarWinds breach. Hackers did not attack the target government agencies and Fortune 500 companies directly. Instead, they infiltrated the software update mechanism of a highly trusted network monitoring tool. When companies downloaded what they thought was a routine, safe software patch, they were actually installing a malicious backdoor that gave nation-state hackers direct access to their most sensitive internal networks. Or consider the Log4j incident. This was a tiny, obscure piece of open-source logging code used in millions of applications across the globe, from massive banking cloud servers to simple video games like Minecraft. When a critical vulnerability was found in it, organizations spent months scrambling in a sheer panic just trying to figure out if they even used the code, because they did not have a system to track their software ingredients. You cannot protect what you do not know you have. A resilient architecture requires a dynamic, constantly updated software bill of materials, or SBOM. Think of this as a detailed, comprehensive ingredient list for every single application running in your environment. When a new zero-day vulnerability is announced in some obscure open-source library, organizations equipped with an SBOM can instantly query their entire architecture to see exactly where that vulnerable library is deployed and automate the patching process immediately. Furthermore, as mandated by compliance frameworks like DORA, resilience extends directly to your vendors through strict third-party risk management. Architecting for supply chain threats means your enterprise contracts must include right-to-audit clauses, extremely strict service-level agreements for rapid security incident reporting, and mandatory compliance with your own organization's security baselines. If a critical cloud vendor fails, your architecture must have contingencies and redundant suppliers ready to instantly take the load without dropping a single transaction. Yet, as advanced as all these systems are, technology alone cannot solve the resilience equation. We must architect the human element through DevSecOps and cognitive resilience. The human element remains both our greatest operational vulnerability and our most powerful defensive asset. Historically, the security team was acting as a frustrating gatekeeper at the very end of the software development lifecycle. By the time the security engineers found a critical flaw, fixing it was massively expensive and heavily delayed the product deployment. Digital resilience requires a methodology called shifting security left, meaning integrating security testing into the earliest possible stages of software design and coding. In a true DevSecOps culture, software developers are equipped with automated scanning tools that analyze their code for vulnerabilities in real time as they are actively typing it out on their keyboards. Security transforms from a slow bottleneck into an enabler of speed, ensuring that cyber resilience is baked into applications by design, not bolted on as a panicked afterthought. Beyond just coding securely, the ultimate test of a resilient architecture is how the actual human beings operating it respond under extreme, chaotic stress. Organizations must intentionally foster cognitive resilience through continuous, realistic simulation. Tabletop cyber exercises, intense red team versus blue team wargames, and the practice of chaos engineering should be regular occurrences. Chaos engineering, a brilliant concept pioneered by tech giants like Netflix, involves intentionally breaking things in a live, customer-facing production environment. Engineers use automated tools to randomly shut down production servers, sever critical database connections, or simulate massive network latency, just to scientifically verify that the automated self-healing mechanisms actually work in the real world while customers are using the platform. This builds critical instinctual muscle memory within your engineering and security teams, transforming human panic into calm procedural execution during a real crisis. Finally, architecting for digital resilience requires looking far beyond the horizon to anticipate and prepare for tomorrow's next-generation threats. We are rapidly approaching the quantum threat. Within the next decade, cryptographically relevant quantum computers will possess the sheer computational power to completely break traditional RSA and ECC encryption models that currently protect the Internet. Resilient architectures are already beginning the massive, complex transition to post-quantum cryptography, implementing quantum-resistant algorithms to protect sensitive data from attackers who are currently using harvest now, decrypt later strategies, where they steal encrypted data today just to store it and crack it open 10 years from now. We are also entering an unprecedented era of AI versus AI warfare, as threat actors aggressively use generative artificial intelligence to craft hyper-personalized, deepfake-driven phishing campaigns and self-evolving, polymorphic malware that changes its own code to avoid detection. Human defenders simply will not be able to keep up the pace. We will need equally advanced autonomous AI defense systems. These defensive systems will independently rewrite source code, patch software vulnerabilities, and dynamically alter complex network topologies in real time to evade attacks as they are actively happening. And as the digital and physical worlds continue to converge, we face massive, physical threats to the Internet of Things and cyber-physical systems. A targeted cyber attack on a smart electrical grid, a hospital HVAC and life support system, or an autonomous vehicle fleet carries literal life-and-death physical consequences. Resilient architectures must urgently bridge the dangerous gap between information technology and operational technology, applying strict zero-trust verification principles to physical manufacturing machinery and industrial control systems. Digital resilience is no longer an IT metric tracked on a spreadsheet in the basement. It is a fundamental, existential business strategy. An organization that architecturally assumes a breach will happen, seamlessly isolates systemic failures, automates its defensive response, and recovers instantaneously holds a massive, almost unfair competitive advantage in the modern market. When a sector-wide cyber attack inevitably strikes, the fragile, outdated organizations will completely halt operations, bleed massive amounts of revenue, and suffer fatal blows to their customer trust. But the digitally resilient organization will absorb the impact, adapt in real time, and continue delivering uncompromised value to the world. In the modern theater of global cyber warfare, the ultimate goal is no longer just to build taller walls to prevent the storm. The goal is to build a ship so masterfully architected, so brilliantly resilient and adaptive, that it actually uses the violent winds of the cyberstorm to sail faster.